Welcome back to the Letterbox podcast, where every episode is a letter. Honest thoughts, stories, and feelings shared by our listeners and read by me. If you enjoy this episode, I would love for you to follow the podcast, leave a rating, or share it with someone who might enjoy it too. Dear Postpartum Me, postpartum can be lonely in the most beautiful way. Of course, there's the obvious loneliness. Now, that isn't beautiful. The kind that feels overwhelming even when you're surrounded by people who love you. I think I definitely felt that more the first time round. This time, though, the loneliness felt quieter, softer, more still. It lived in the late night feeds where the whole house slept apart from us. In those long pram walks where time seemed to slow down. In tiny moments where life carried on loudly around me, but somehow I noticed the small things more than ever before. Tiny fingers wrapped around mine, milk-shrunk smiles, the weight of you sleeping on my chest. Those moments were fleeting, of course. They existed in between the chaos, the washing, the appointments, the exhaustion, the constant mental lists. But they were there. And they reminded me that even in the busiest, hardest seasons of motherhood, there is still so much beauty to notice if we slow down enough to see it. What surprised me most about postpartum the second time around wasn't the sleepless nights or even the recovery. It was a strange tension between stillness and pressure. Because while your world slows down completely between you and your baby, the rest of the world doesn't. There's messages to reply to, toddlers to care for, food shops to think about, expectations you place on yourself before anyone else even has a chance to. Then there's the guilt. The guilt of your older child suddenly having to share you when all they really understand is that things feel different now. Because how do you explain to a toddler that you're not sharing your love, only your time? That your heart somehow doubled in size overnight, even if your arms, your energy, and your attention physically couldn't. So when they cling to you more, act out more, or look at you differently for a little while, it hurts in ways you never expected. Not because you love either child less or more, but because motherhood stretches your heart in directions your body can't always follow. Still, without even realizing it, you start comparing yourself to everyone around you. The mums at the park with newborns sleeping peacefully while their toddlers play happily beside them. The brushed hair, the makeup, the women who seem to have stepped back into normal life so effortlessly, while you still feel sore, emotional, overwhelmed, and not quite yourself yet. But motherhood is not a performance. You never really know what another woman carried just to make it there that morning, what happened before she left the house, whether she cried while packing the changing bag, whether she feels just as overwhelmed as you do underneath the surface of it all. Maybe that's why mums smile at each other the way that we do in passing. Because even when we look like we're in completely different places, there's this quiet understanding underneath it all. We know. We know the exhaustion. We know the overstimulation. We know the identity shift. We know the guilt. We know the love so deep it changes you completely. And while this was only my experience of postpartum, I know for some women it can be truly lonely, deeply difficult, and heartbreaking in ways I can't fully understand. This isn't about comparing struggles or deciding whose experience was harder. It's simply a reminder that whatever version of postpartum looks like, you are allowed to feel it honestly. For me, this postpartum wasn't devastating. It just wasn't what I imagined either. The infection knocked me more than I expected, having to advocate for myself while hearing, "Well, you did just have a baby, of course it hurts," even when deep down I knew something wasn't right. And honestly, well done you for trusting yourself enough to keep pushing for answers. That's strength. Okay, so maybe the pregnancy, the birth, or the weeks after didn't go how you planned or prepared for, but the strength of a woman in these moments is unmatched. To heal while nurturing, to keep showing up while exhausted, to carry the weight of everyone else while your entire world has changed overnight. That strength is extraordinary. Although I know if I said this to you now, you would question what I'm about to say, because there are moments you feel you're failing, but I promise you, one day you will look back and you will realize you are not. You are simply learning how to exist inside one of the biggest transformations a person can go through. So give yourself grace. Rest when you can. Accept the help. Let people love you. Trust that even on the days you don't feel like yourself, your children will still know you as home. And finally, to the partners, family members, friends, grandparents, and the people quietly supporting mothers, whether you're in the centre of it all or standing gently on the edges of it, just know this: you are witnessing one of the strongest, softest, most extraordinary versions of a woman that there is. So, protect her softness. Remind her who she is on the days she forgets. Hold her through the version of herself she is still becoming. But even when she doesn't see it yet, she is doing something remarkable. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Letterbox podcast. If this one resonated with you at all, then don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. And if there's something sitting on your heart that you would like to share, you can send your letter to the email address in the show description. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you for the next letter.